When I am in stages like this, why do we need the fifth mode of transportation? Well, it's very simple. Transportation, as you know it, is broken. I don't have to stress this. If you're complaining about your traffic in your city, it means only one thing. It means you've never been in India. You've never been in China. These are places where they know how to really create mess out of transportation. This is China. These guys are ninja traffic jammers. They've been stuck in traffic for 11 days. That was the mother of all the traffic jams. I know we're laughing, but it's a problem that is affecting our life in such a deep level. Imagine this is China in a very good day. Because in a bad day, it looks like this. And this is daily, not something that happens randomly. At the airport, everything seems to know where we are going, except our luggage. And we stare the luggage on the carousel, and when it's promptly delivered somewhere in Botswana or whatever it is, why? Why we are doing this? We have the technology to actually overcome all these problems. And 70% of the operation we do at the airport can actually be done even before you arrive there. Why they are lining us up? And they don't want to change. I mean, there are shops that will resell your lost luggage at 70% discount. It's a bargain. You should go there. There are 11 shops around America that are actually reselling your stuff. So it's a system, right? If you analyze all the transportation industry, it's completely broken. Let's say, for example, I live in Darfur, okay, and I'm single, so I'm searching for a girlfriend. I'm Bibop, I'm 29, kind of. World changer, and I'm smart, good-looking, and very, very humble. That's my profile. And I'm looking for a girl, Monica, 32, Monica Bellucci, actress, smart, good-looking, and romantic. It's a match, right? Well, if she lives in Wembley, I'm not going to date her, okay? We are choosing who to love based on traffic. That's crazy. We are affecting such a deep level. But you're laughing, but if I would tell you, tomorrow is the last day of your life, you would be disappointed. You would start to think about all the things that you have not been able to achieve, your children, your family, right? Well, if we live in one of these cities, we'll live in 1, 2, 3 years less than was expected. And we think it's normal. We're becoming numb. And, they're stealing your life, 10 minutes here, half an hour there, 1 hour there, every single day. So I love to think that my job at the Hyperloop Transportation Technology is actually to sell back your time, your most valuable time that we can actually use to do the things that we love and not being stuck in traffic in a very stupid way. And we are trying to build fast systems. They are embedded, broken, like the high-speed rail. Sorry, people say that I'm the worldwide oppositor of the high-speed rail. It's not true. The system is broken. I mean, they create a system that never will recoup the money that you invest on it. The name of the game is subsidies. So we are using the tax money to actually pay for each passenger that is actually traveling on it. And this is not an efficient way to think about our transportation and the future that we are leaving on to our children. The ports. Let's talk about that, because these are a giant secondary stock for giant corporations. They are using it without paying for it. Okay? And the name of the game is 5 big conglomerates. They are using our ports as their stock. And they deliver it only when they decide so. So it's broken. Now, how many of you doesn't know what the Hyperloop is? Please raise your hand. We are among friends. Don't be shy. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay. Security, please remove these morons from the audience. What the hell is happening? I'm joking. I have a video that explains to you what the Hyperloop is.
I have a name for it, which is called the Hyperloop.
So what's Hyperloop? Mr. Musk's plan: move people using a massive vacuum tube combined with a magnetic levitation system. Kind of like a Jetsons tunnel?
It's something like that, yeah.
Imagine a capsule filled with people.
You put this capsule inside the tube,
You create a low-pressure environment inside the tube,
so you have no resistance.
and it's moving very fast from point A to point B. So the capsule, very similar to an airplane that goes in high altitudes, can travel really fast with very little energy.
Is the main trick to it the vacuum and the fact that there's no friction? Is that the
Correct.
main reason why it makes it so fast?
Tesla founder Elon Musk proposed this new technology called Hyperloop, and it's being developed right now in Playa Vista, here in this hangar behind me.
So when Elon published the document, he just drafted a possible way to achieve this. 2 months later, my business partner, Dirk Alborn, a genius German entrepreneur, took this document, published in our website, the Jumpstart Found, and did a call to action.
There was a great project, a great idea, and Elon actually said he wanted someone else to take it on. He wanted a community to make this happen.
It's the first company that used crowdsourcing to solve one of the biggest problems of humanity, that is transportation. They have to work at least 10 hours a week, and we give them in exchange 1 stock for every hour worked. And we have been like overwhelmed of requests from engineers from all over the planet. There were people from, NASA, Tesla, SpaceX, Boeing, MIT.
We want to give our community that's supporting us the possibility to own parts of the company.
So we are creating the biggest crowdsourcing project in the planet.
Big headline of the day, Hyperloop's Chief Operating Officer Bibop Gresta, the transportation technology startup, believes that the Hyperloop will be cheaper than high-speed rail in the country. Take a look.
You have to consider that the Hyperloop is not a new idea. Humanity tried to build this system several times in the past. India has a very big problem on infrastructure.
The race is on. Elon Musk's vision for a high-speed passenger pods known as the Hyperloop is one step closer to becoming reality this morning. One of the known companies competing to capitalize on Musk's proposal, announcing today it has struck a deal with landowners in Central California to build the first full-scale Hyperloop along a 5-mile stretch along I-5.
Dirk, tell me about this deal and really when you expect this Hyperloop, this 5-mile stretch, to be finished.
We are able today to announce at the World Economic Forum the actual filing of the construction permit to the Kings County.
From dream to reality, the Hyperloop, the vacuum tube transport company that wants to connect San Francisco and Los Angeles at 760 miles an hour, could happen in as little as 4 years. Bibop Gresta is Hyperloop Transportation Technology COO and Deputy Chairman. He joins me out here today. It's good to see you, Bibop.
Thank you, Kelly.
And I'm learning a lot about the Hyperloop being out here.
We announced the start of the construction of the full-scale prototype in Quay Valley, north of Los Angeles.
Can you imagine and walk us through what it might be like to travel at the speed of sound?
It's not going to be much different than sitting in an airplane, actually.
In railroads, most accidents were all human factors. Plus, a lot of the derailments are actually happened because something's on the track. So we're in a closed system. We're completely managed by a computer system.
Will the Hyperloop kill the railroad?
So Hyperloop is going to do to the US what the railroads did in the 1800s. So it will change the way we live. It's possible today, it's based on existing technologies, and it's the right time, it's the right moment to finally get something doing like this.
Is it visionary? In 30 years' time, will you and I be sitting on our rocking chairs going, well, we talked about it then, and he did it?
So you think this is possible? This is not just...
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
Traveling by Hyperloop.
It's going to be the future. They're making this.
By the way, I'm the co-founder and chairman. They never get it right. Anyway, why it hasn't been built before? That's another question that I always get in every conference I go. So you have to imagine that humanity tried to build this system several times. It was the first time in the 18th century when they tried to imagine a train inside an evacuated tube, and they started actually to build one in 1870. Eli Beach, an amazing entrepreneur, started to build something under what will be called the New York subway, between Warren and Broadway. But it has been stopped because the entire rail community that was starting, the rail industry, thought it was a threat. In 1904, Robert Goddard, the father of the rocket science, patented a solution that was very similar to the Hyperloop. And during the years, the entire scientific community was always against. For example, at the beginning of the century, they were saying that humans cannot travel above 100 kilometers per hour. And there was a big article in Popular Mechanics explaining why. But only in 1969, when the Ministry of Transportation of America, John Volpe, published in a Popular Science article 4 new transportation systems, 2 of them, gravity vacuum and tube flight, were actually very similar to the actual Hyperloop. Humanity imagined to travel inside tubes from Disney to actually several other cartoons as imagined people shooting inside the capsule. You remember the Jetsons and other cartoons. Even The Simpsons in 2011 had a system that was similar to an Hyperloop. So only in 2013, when Elon Musk published the white paper inside its website, he put a giant spotlight on the possibility. And then humanity waked up. 2 weeks later, my business partner had the idea to take this document and publish it in our website. At the beginning, I was completely against. I was like, how can we possibly build an infrastructure and a project that has, imagine, billions of dollars to actually even be conceived? And he had the intuition to actually publish it and ask humanity to participate in exchange of stock options. That was the initial sparkle of what we're calling crowdsourcing. And what happened after in Magic? After less than a month, 100 scientists from 10 countries joined the team and started to work. And there were people from NASA, SpaceX, Boeing, Aerospace, Lockheed Martin. And we started to do what we call crowdstorming. We were doing big brainstorm. Imagine humanity coming together to actually solve one of the biggest problems. And that's what we did. Right now, after 3.5 years, we have the biggest startup in the planet. We have 860 people working from 42 countries. And they are all moonlighting to actually change the planet. And this is not only an amazing thing about building an infrastructure, it's a new generation of companies that we are demonstrating will change completely humanity. We are now taught at Harvard, and that was a personal satisfaction because now they're using us as a model to actually solve all the problems of humanity. We can change everything, energy, food, housing. We have the technology to do that. We only need the best minds to come together to solve it. Now, one thing you need to know about the Hyperloop, we haven't invented anything. We are using technology that already existing by putting it together and integrated in a very smart way. The big intuition that we've had is how to solve the biggest problem that rails and all the other on-ground transportation system has, levitation. And where we found the solution was inside a lab that was known to have created the atomic bomb. Einstein worked on the Manhattan Project, is the Lawrence Livermore Lab.
Using magnets to move and elevate trains is not a new thing.
So we are super excited about this moment in time because it's coming alive. We are building it. And I have to speed it up a little bit because I was long, but imagine that the system is completely scalable. If you can transport 28 people in a capsule and you can depart it every 40 seconds, you have 24 million people a year with one tube. To give you an idea, there's 7.8 million people traveling between Los Angeles and San Francisco. We can substitute the entire flight industry with one tube 4 times. And we can put up to 7 tubes on the same pylon because we have 30,000 PSI of resistance. It means 9.2 resistance of the Richter scale earthquakes. So we can actually be withstanding big catastrophic events. If an earthquake comes to LA, I want to be on an helicopter or inside the Hyperloop. But we are also looking on how to build in using the existing right-of-way. So when I read all these bogus news about the Hyperloop will never happen because we don't have right-of-way. What are you talking about? We can build on top of rails or on top of highways. We have all the right-of-way that we need. Of course, if we have a curve, we have to slow down, but we don't have to go at 1,223 kilometers per hour. This is the maximum speed. Of course, the speed profile will adapt on the track that you're designing. And we're looking at different solutions. This is India. Of course, when you're looking at being in space, safety, it's the biggest concern, right? But luckily enough, science helps us because we already have the solutions to actually maintain life in a pressurized environment. It's called airplane. So we are actually replicating what the space industry did in the past. And the most interesting characteristic of Hyperloop is not speed, it's efficiency. By using a combination of renewable energy, we combine solar, wind, kinetic energy, regenerative braking, and in some climates where the solar panels are not efficient, we use geothermal. The combination of it creates up to 30% more energy than we consume. So we are a big power station that happens to transport people. In the future, imagine the graph of solar panel efficiency is going up, and the cost is going down. There's a breaking point where you don't need tickets. And this is not a dream. It's doable right now. So creating infrastructure that doesn't depend on subsidies, but are completely efficient and sustainable. That's our vision. Safety is paramount for us. Now imagine that when you're traveling at the speed of sound, you can actually speed up slow enough that you don't feel the acceleration and deceleration. What is called G-force is just a measure of acceleration. So the key is to keep this below 1 G or 0.5 lateral. It will be very boring. Sorry. You don't feel the Hyperloop. But in case of emergency, you have to seal the tube, slow down, and in case of extreme emergency, you can slow down up to 6.4 seconds. It's not going to be pleasant. Don't try it at home because you have 5G of deceleration, but it's like a roller coaster. It will save your life, and you can actually evacuate from the pylons every 60 meters. So it's safer than a gallery. Now, how can you resist inside a capsule that travels at the speed of sound? In reality, if you accelerate slow enough, you can arrive at the speed of light without feeling it. Well, you have to be a bit patient. I have a couple of videos, but I don't have time to show you. This is my team revenging on me and putting myself inside the Hyperloop simulator and push me up to 5G. So I know that everybody will love to see me suffering, but in reality, up to 3.5G, I was like, what's happening? It's not that much of a problem. I will basically show you another time. But the cool stuff about what we are designing, we are redesigning the passenger experience. Imagine to be able, I swear, 30 seconds, to be able to be inside the capsule and look out, and instead of having a windows, you have a screen. But it's so defined, you actually can move, and the perspective will be actually shown as a reality. So where do you want to go? You want to go to Paris? You want to go to London during the 18th century? You want to go in space or underwater? We can bring you there. And this is not only a cool way to travel, it's also a way of monetizing the travel of the future without paying a ticket. So when I will be able to travel at the Hyperloop? Well, it's very simple. It's going to happen right now. We are actually in negotiation with different countries. 7 contracts signed with major nations. We have 20 multi-billion dollars contracts happening right now, including, I'm not disclosing anything, a place that is very near here, maybe UK, we don't know. We are discussing right now with your government. We have amazing engineering partners on board, more than 40 companies that partner with us, and these are the projects that are actually active on building either a feasibility study or a full-scale prototype. But I will leave you with an amazing moment for us, because we have been working in Abu Dhabi to actually analyze the biggest project ever done in a Hyperloop history. It was a complete feasibility study, including the study of the impact, sustainability, and so on. And with the government of Abu Dhabi, we are discussing this. And I'll leave you with that.
Thanks to the visionary heritage of its founding father, Abu Dhabi has bloomed to become a world-class capital of innovation. Abu Dhabi is developing initiatives to launch the fourth industrial revolution. It will produce abundant green energy and be powered by limitless mobility. At Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, we have a vision for the future of the city. We share with Abu Dhabi the same transformative mission and elite standards. We value engineering excellence, human-centered design, and a culture of open collaboration to serve our common goals, attract corporate investment, engage communities, and enhance the quality of life. In a matter of minutes, the Hyperloop will allow Emirati citizens to be here and there in every part of the unified nation, and all the high-speed connecting routes will converge towards the capital. By welcoming a full-scale Hyperloop prototype, Abu Dhabi will be the first city in the world to deliver the next breakthrough in transportation. It will inspire both engineers and visitors from around the world to experience, to learn, and to collaborate. Together with Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, Abu Dhabi will show to the planet the shortest, fastest, and greenest route to the future. Abu Dhabi, the future is prototyped here.
We are building your present. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bibop, I mean, faster than the speed of light, you took us through your speech. Very sadly, it was such a fascinating speech that we can't have time to have questions with you, but you did manage to answer one or two. I urge you all to tweet questions to Bibop. He will get them back to you, because I know that there will be hundreds out there questioning when, how, and when we can come and experiment with you. But please let us now give it up for none other than Bibop Gresta. He is the chairman, co-founder of Hyperloop Technologies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.